Hi, welcome to this class. Now, in this class, we'll be looking at translate and replace functions. Now, these two functions are basically, used to do, some kind of readjustment to the data set in two different ways that is quite similar. So we will do a little quick, deep dive into how to use this query. Now, first we have our data set here again. We have the urban areas dataset from Google Bigquery. And here we see like we have different fields like the name, the LSAD name and some other interesting field. Now, when we try to query this table, we could just basically see that we could say we want to do some kind of, we want to see the name, right? And then we want to put a translate function. Now, what exactly is this thing doing? So here you have your name, and then you decide that maybe you want to, like replace for every place where you see an A and a C, you have a certain definition for A and C, or maybe for A. So maybe you could have a definition for A, C, and maybe G. And then now you have to state what is your definition for A, C, and G. You have to state it in the exact order. So assuming we want A to mean percentage sign and C to mean the less than sign and E, G to mean the at sign, the at symbol. So here, what happens is when we run this translate here, what we will get is we will see that for every location where you can, find for every location where we can find like A, in capital letters, then it is going to be replaced by a percent sign. But everywhere the C is in a capital letter, then it's replaced by a less than sign, which is exactly here. You could see these locations here for C, and you can see these cases for C. In terms of A, you can see that it's replaced by percentage sign. In terms of G, it is replaced by the at sign, as indicated here. Now, we could also use the replace function. So maybe we copy the same query, right? But then the replace function works in a quite different way. The way is completely different from what we have learned. So here, it works together. So the thing with translate is it works individually. So what do I mean by this? So we could basically go and put the replace here and then say we are looking for every position where you find A and C, and then you want to replace it with this. However, because we have our former query, then we can just comment it out. And then when we run the query, what we will see here is, so we could see that wherever it has an A and C, you have this sign that is replacing. So for Macon, this sign. However, what it doesn't do in this case is it doesn't individually look for A, but it's looking for A and C together. So do you see some cases of A, but it's not individually looking for this case. It's only looking for joint cases. And this is the thing. It's not it's not looking for A or C individually, but it's just looking for only joint cases. Now, this is the idea of, the translate and the replace. Maybe to even make it better, we could already put this together, right? And stack it up together and see how it really works. So stack it up together in the same query, right? So here we will call this the translate name. And here we will call it the replace name. So what happens here? So when we run the query, what do we get? So we have a very, very interesting perspective. So first you see, like for the first case, which is translate name, it basically looks for every point where you can find a C. I mean, I would like to change this to the same, breakdowns in between, so then it's kind of consistent in the comparison. So sorry for that. So basically, what do we find here? So we basically look in the case of translate, it's just looking for A and C. Wherever it finds A and C, then it is changing it. So when we come to this case, you see it finds only A and it changes it here, small letter. And then it finds A in these three places and it changes it anyway. But for the case of the replace, I mean, in this type of situation, it doesn't change A because it's looking for A and C together in that exact order. But it can do A and C here because it's in the order, because it's Jackson, which is basically A and C in the exact order. And that's why you also see like it's looking for A and C in Marcon because it's in the exact order. And but for translate, basically it translates A everywhere it sees A and C everywhere it sees the small letter C. So basically here also it's looking for A and then it's translating it. The same way with the Yakima, basically here it's doing exactly the same thing. So the way the translate works is translate is very, very specific in terms of the characters that you're trying to replace. Basically it's very specific to the individual characters, whereas replace is very much like it's kind of like trying to look for the same pattern. It's also you know trying to look for the same letters and the exact same pattern before it does any kind of replace. So this is the idea of the translate and replace. You know what, see you in the next one. Thank you.